How many women do you know who are my age who still have all their own teeth?
Well, I admit.
I've got to say, the news that Outlander Season 8 will introduce even more new characters has me feeling pretty nervous about how the show will end. Season 7 hasn't even wrapped up yet, but I'm already thinking about how the series will close out its epic time-traveling drama. Based on Diana Gabaldon's book series, Outlander follows Claire, a nurse from the 1940s who ends up traveling back to 1743 Scotland, and Jamie Fraser, a Highland warrior. Their relationship has had its ups and downs, but I'm invested in it above all else. Season 8 is set to bring a few new characters into the mix, including Kieran Bew as Charles Cunningham, a retired British soldier, Francis Tomelty as his mother Elsbeth, and Carla Woodcock as Amaranthus Grey. These characters seem interesting, but I'm a bit surprised that the show is introducing so many new faces so late in the game. Since the final season will have just 10 episodes, I'm worried these new characters might end up taking away from the central story, or not get enough screen time to matter. What really has me concerned is that these new additions could hurt the show's ending. With only 10 episodes to go, I don't know how they'll manage to fit in all these new characters and still wrap up the long-running story of Claire and Jamie. If these new characters are important enough to take up a significant portion of screen time, it could mess with the pacing of the finale. On the other hand, if they're given too little attention, it might feel like they were added just for the sake of it and wouldn't add anything meaningful to the final arc. Looking at it from a bigger picture, there's already so much for Season 8 to cover. Gabaldon's books are massive, often over 1,000 pages, and Season 8 will have to tackle content from 3 different books, Written in My Own Heart's Blood, Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, and potentially even the final yet-to-be-published novel. I honestly can't imagine how they'll squeeze all of that into just 10 episodes, especially with the new characters to consider. It seems like a lot to juggle, and adding more plot lines could complicate things even more. Season 7 itself has already felt pretty stuffed with storylines. Not only do we have Claire and Jamie's adventures in the 18th century, but we're also following their daughter Brianna and her husband Roger in the 20th century. There's a lot going on, and it's hard to see how all these plots can be neatly wrapped up in a satisfying way. The final season has to manage not just the main characters' storylines, but also side plots like Brianna's time travel journey and her eventual reunion with her parents. With all that going on, adding more new characters feels like it might be too much. If these new characters are going to fit into the final season without overwhelming it, they need to have smaller, less significant roles. Ideally, they should just serve as minor characters who don't distract from Claire and Jamie's story. In the books, the Cunninghams and Amaranthus Grey have larger roles, but I'm hoping the show doesn't let these side characters steal the spotlight. For example, Charles is a direct threat to Jamie, and his presence could stir things up on the Ridge. Amaranthus Grey also has ties to important characters, but I'd prefer if her role didn't overshadow the central narrative. At this point, I'm really hoping the show's writers will focus on what matters most in the final season. With just 10 episodes to go, it's crucial to streamline the story and make sure everything fits without overcomplicating things with too many new characters or unnecessary plot points. If the show can balance all the different storylines and characters, it could end on a high note, satisfying fans who have followed Claire and Jamie's journey for so long. Season 8 of Outlander presents an exciting opportunity for the series to lean even further into historical accuracy while still maintaining its signature blend of time-traveling fantasy and romance. To achieve a more historically faithful portrayal, the show can address several key areas, refining both its storytelling and its depiction of the 18th century world. One of the primary strengths of Outlander has always been its commitment to historical settings, particularly its authentic use of real-world locations like Doune Castle and Blackness Castle. These castles, with their rich histories, lend the series a layer of realism that grounds the fictional elements in tangible places. For Season 8, continuing this trend by filming at historically significant sites could enhance the immersive experience for viewers. This attention to detail is crucial not only in creating an authentic atmosphere, but also in helping to educate the audience about the past. By integrating more historically relevant locations and landmarks, the show can further deepen its connection to Scotland's history. The portrayal of the Battle of Culloden in earlier seasons is one example where Outlander has succeeded in representing real historical events. The tragic defeat of the Jacobite forces, led by Bonnie Prince Charlie, was accurately depicted, with the bloodshed and the consequences for the Scottish clans. For Season 8, Outlander could further explore the aftermath of this battle, shedding light on the long-term effects of Scottish culture and society. Additionally, the historical accuracy of the battle scenes could be expanded upon with more in-depth coverage of lesser-known skirmishes or the personal stories of soldiers who fought on both sides. This would allow the show to remain faithful to history while introducing new, compelling narratives. Season 8 could also delve deeper into the portrayal of women in the 18th century. Outlander has done an excellent job of illustrating the societal constraints faced by women, particularly through Claire's evolution from an outsider to a respected healer. In 18th century Scotland, women were indeed often treated as property, and their roles were largely defined by their relationships with men. To enhance the historical accuracy, the show could further explore the limitations of women's legal and social status in this period, as well as their contributions to society, particularly in the realm of medical care and traditional practices. This would help reinforce the show's authenticity while also giving voice to the often overlooked experiences of women during this time. Another key area where Outlander can improve its historical accuracy is in the depiction of medical practices. Claire's role as a healer has always been an essential part of the series, and her ability to use both modern and traditional methods to treat ailments provides an intriguing juxtaposition of the old and the new. However, the show can dive deeper into the historical accuracy of healing practices in 18th century Scotland. For example, while Claire uses herbal remedies and rudimentary surgical techniques, the show could incorporate more detailed depictions of the limited medical knowledge and practices of the time, along with their frequent failures. By doing so, it could provide a more nuanced view of medicine during this era and show the struggles Claire faces as she navigates an environment devoid of modern technology. Finally, while Outlander has done an excellent job of depicting battles like Prestonpans and Culloden, it would be valuable for the show to continue focusing on the socio-political context of the Jacobite Rebellion. The portrayal of the Highlanders as lower-class individuals who fought with limited resources was a notable touch in earlier seasons, and Season 8 could emphasize this aspect of the rebellion more. By showcasing the hardships faced by these soldiers, as well as their complex motivations, the series can maintain its focus on the real historical implications of the Jacobite cause. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.